Everyone asks questions at the same time. We'll answer all of them at the same time. Where should we look? Who would like to go first?
Okay, I'll be the president.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So during lockdown, I think it's fair to say there's a lot of people watching comfort TV. Like for me, they're hilarious shows. There's a lot of heart to it. It's kind of hard to balance, especially with a character like Michael Scott or Greens. There's a lot of flaws to them. They can be maybe egotistical, cricket at sometimes, but there's this deep loneliness to them, or they deal with a lot of failure. So I'm curious, if that's something you were conscious of, or something that informed how you approached the series?
Yeah, definitely. I think the show has a lot of hope and a lot of kind of nice feelings in it, which is comforting, especially in times of kind of tumultuous chaoticness. You need something a little comforting. And growing up, we just loved family sitcoms, and Big City Greens is a family sitcom, and we lean heavy into the comedy. We always try to have just a nice, earnest moment of kind of humanity in it. And I think that's where you get that little heart squeeze where you're like, oh, that just feels nice. And I think in kind of the pandemic times when people are looking for a little comfort, looking for a little just kind of solace, I know I turn to comedies like The Office and just shows that where I could feel comfortable. And if anybody felt that way about Big City Greens, I'm deeply honored, because that's a huge compliment.
Is that really true?
Yeah, I think we're all looking for connection, especially when we're all in quarantine and isolated, and we focus a lot in the show on the relationships between the characters, and we try to approach them honestly. And so with that comes the flaws you mentioned, the flaws each character has, the flaws in which those or the ways those flaws contribute to the relationships and kind of cause this dysfunction. But I think people relate to that because it's relatable. That's real life. And so yeah, I agree. It's really an honor to feel like people are connecting with the show in that way, and we certainly hear that a lot from our fans, that the show is comforting. But I also think you could switch out comforting with just the word honest, and we're just trying to kind of call it like it is.
What do you think? Hi, I'm from the Goodman Project.
Oh, I'm Shane Houghton. This is Chris Houghton. I don't know if we did that yet.
Right.
Sometimes it's easy to get us mixed up. But I'm Shane.
Worries.
This is Chris.
It's pleased to meet you. I was wondering what the arc this season will be as opposed to last season where you left off. Like, where do you see what you can give away?
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, because season 3 I'm really happy with and really proud of. I think, and I don't know if we've talked much about this, but like, season 3 is all about, and really an extension of the series, it's all about change. And the characters go through growth and arcs in every episode. There's a little thing that they learn and something changes within them. Season 3 really highlights that, because the whole premise of the show is this country family that moves from the country to the city, and that's a big change in their life. But enough time has gone by throughout the series, we're in the middle of season 3, that we needed more change because they're getting complacent in their new surroundings. So to keep them kind of as a fish out of water element, move them back to the country, having changed. They're different. They're not the same country people they were at the beginning of season 1. So there's this new era of change, and I think just zooming way out, life is all about change. And so I think Big City Greens really likes to focus in on the changes that happen in life. Even when you try to go back to the way things were, you can't.
You can't go home again.
Everything's different. Everything's constantly changing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever moved away, like
Oh,
when
sure.
you moved out of your parents' house
Yeah.
and you go back, it still feels like your parents' house, but it may not feel like your house anymore. And that's a weird feeling, and everybody goes through that. So we're tapping into something that hopefully is very relatable to a lot of people.
Awesome.
Well said.
Thank you.
Can you shed any light on the musical, or was it done during the pandemic where you had the most of your ideas, and how has that changed now that that's kind of over?
Yeah, the movie that was announced. Is that what you're? Yes.
Yeah.
So there was earlier in the year there was a movie musical that was announced that we are currently working on. So I think we finished writing about a year ago, and we've been storyboarding and getting the animatic going.
But we did write and write songs during quarantine, during all that work from home, which was, it's been tricky to balance both the series and movie, and that's still going on. Now that we're back to the office, we literally have a series production space, and then next door, our neighbors is the movie production space, and we're jumping back and forth. But it's been really cool, and writing a bunch of songs, which the fans will see. I think as the series has gone on, we've just included more and more songs because we like it so much. And so to jump into the movie and really make it, I would say, when people say musical, we've talked a lot about, oh my gosh, how many songs need to be in a thing to make it a musical? But there's a lot of songs, and it's really fun to just go whole hog. We're all big Broadway fans.
I think of it more of as a movie with songs versus a musical. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, right.
But,
Splitting hairs, but it's been a lot of fun. I'll say that. We all are big music fans.
Jackson Murphy here for Animation.
Hey,
I remember. Yeah.
Right, Jackson. I was like, you look familiar. That's right. Great to see you, man.
So when these animated series have either gone to the big screen or even with the Phineas and Ferb movie that went to Disney Plus a couple years ago that I just loved, it felt like an event.
Yes.
I remember the SpongeBob movie was an event for me. The Simpsons movie, Bob's Burgers fans just did that. How do you hope this movie is an event for fans of your show?
Yeah.
So when we were pitching ideas for the movie, a big criteria for us was we wanted to do something that felt like the series, but that we could never do in the series. And we landed on an idea that I think we're very excited about, and it's gonna be big, like Big City Greens. Big is in the title, so we gotta do something where we really escalate things, take it to a whole new level. And we found a really fun angle, and so I hope it'll be. I think it should feel like what you mentioned, like a big event, a big spectacle.
Because I think there's kind of maybe an expectation that if a series goes long enough, you make a movie. And we didn't want to just do that. We didn't want to just kind of get complacent and go like, now it's time to make a movie, I guess. We really wanted to sink our teeth into this and go like, oh my gosh, this is a huge opportunity for us, for the crew, for the cast. How can we tell a big story in this format that we can never tell in the series? And therefore, hopefully, it will justify the fact that this movie exists. So we can't wait to share more, and it is. It's going to be big.
Great, wonderful.
What are you guys most excited for fans to see in the rest of the season 3 that's coming?
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay.
So season 3, the rest of the episodes, it's all about the country, right? They just moved back to the country. We have so many exciting things coming up. New characters, the kind of country neighbors that the Greens have known from the past. New people that they're meeting for the first time. We have a Halloween inspired episode. It's very horror movie. It's coming out October 28th, right before Halloween. Really fun episode called Pizza Deliverance. We're sharing a clip today.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah. There's a couple. You wanna touch on montage and maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So even though we're going to the country, and we have a lot of country episodes, but we're still doing just weird, fun Big City Greens episodes. We have this episode called Montage, which is basically kind of an Inception-like parody episode, but Cricket learns that about montages and that the fact that you can gain a skill in a very short amount of time. But then he kind of
Remy does clarify that you can only do that in like a movie. That's not a real life thing.
It's a filmmaking device.
And Cricket's counter is, has anyone tried? So he's going to try to do a montage in real life.
Yeah, and he succeeds, and he kind of gets stuck in this loop, and it's very trippy and weird. And it was one of those episodes where we all scratched our head and went, "Can we do this?" But it's
I feel like we give ourselves the allowance to do like one really weird episode like every 10 half hours or so. So we did like in season 2 we did like Cheap Show, where we kind of like break something, and then Animation Abomination, where we kind of go behind the scenes of a cartoon. We do that every once in a while, and this is our that type of episode for this next batch.
But even like fun episodes, like for years I wanted to do an episode where Cricket secretly grows a rat tail, and sure enough we found a great angle on it, and
Like rat tail?
Oh,
like a hair,
Okay.
the hair version,
Yes.
not an
Like,
actual literal.
not a prehensile appendage.
That's for
the
season
Halloween
4.
special.
Yeah.
Save it, write that down.
Yeah, that's good.
Write that down. No, so there's lots of fun episodes, and then we're deep into season 4 production as well, and I will say I've told Shane this, we produce the episodes in batches of 10 half hours. And every 10 half hours, I have this anxiety that this is the 10 half hours where it all falls apart and it's not going to be as good as the last. And we just finished our first 10 half hours of season 4, and they're so fun, and the episodes are so weird and funny and strong, and so we just can't wait to keep sharing. It's gonna be great.
You guys make it a pact to watch the new episodes when they air, even though you've already seen
We
them.
do.
Always.
We do.
Always.
I don't know why. There's something about sitting down, watching it on Disney Channel, seeing the commercials, getting the full experience.
I think the thing is like animation is so slow. It takes so long to make one episode. It's like 10 months from start to finish, and then even still, you finish it and it sits for a bit, and then it airs on TV. And when it's unlike a movie, there's not a lot of fanfare, so it's nice to have this demarcation of like, it's done. It's released to the world, and I feel like I have to go through the process of like watching it and then releasing it to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's a nice tradition, and yeah, every episode
Yeah.
we watch.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thanks so much.
Hey.